Today's movie is sort of like Cocaine Bear, but instead of cocaine, it's vengefulness, and instead of bears, well, it's thousands and thousands of snakes. Today's movie is Calamity of Snakes, and it's getting a Blu-ray release from Unearthed Films. Now, I'm not sponsored by them, I was just sent a screener, and thank God, because I think I've discovered what could possibly be the most insane film to come out of Hong Kong in the 80s. And that's saying a lot, because they released a lot of insane stuff. For example, Centipede Horror and Devil Fetus, which are probably in the same vein as this one, and don't worry people, I'll eventually get to these masterpieces. Now, the reason Calamity of Snake is such an impressive feat in human cinema is not because of its plot, but because it's basically a sequence of insane scenes one after another. It doesn't stop for the 80-minute or so running time of just being pure insanity on pure insanity, followed by pure insanity. Now, I have to warn you people, the snakes in this film are real, and the way they are killed is also real, which might turn off most of the audience, as it should, and I'm not gonna go on too long about it because, well, you know it's wrong, I know it's wrong, the filmmakers know it's wrong, everybody knows it's wrong. It was the 80s, different time, different country. Now can we just talk about the kung fu snake fights? Because that's scenes that actually happen in this one. So I'll quickly go through the plot because, well, the movie doesn't even go through its plot, so why should I? And it's basically a group of men that are building a building, and they're very rich, very influential, and they want this building done in 8 months, but it's barely possible because it's a big project. And what happens is that the construction site is invaded by snakes. So what they do is, instead of, I don't know, calling an exterminator or thinking about it, the boss man is like, kill every snake in here. And that's exactly what they do, which somehow brings a curse to everybody involved with the construction site, and the sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers of the snakes that were murdered will attempt to murder the people. There's no real explanation as to why just random snakes start attacking people, but I'm not complaining, because as I previously said, this movie's insane. And this leads to one of my favorite scenes where one of the construction workers is having sex with a prostitute, and about 1,000 snakes just sneak into the apartment, and the man falls into the pit of snake and he dies. Another one of my favorite scenes, because this is basically just me telling you scenes, is where this, I think, snake catcher or snake hunter is kung fu fighting a giant python that flies. And that giant python is important to the story because he's kind of the leader of the smaller snakes, and he's probably the only non-real snake that we see for most of the film, because the things he's capable of doing, well, I don't think you could get a real snake to do that, even if you were a professional snake trainer. Kung fu scene between the snake catcher and the giant python made me laugh my balls off. Chef's kiss. Eventually, I think it's either in the building that they just built on like the tomb of the snakes, or it's maybe another building. This film kind of turns into They Came From Within, which is Rabid. I think, no, Rabid is the one with Marilyn Chambers. Holy shit, I'm not good. Shivers. This movie turns into Shivers, but instead of sex-crazed zombies, it's vengeful snakes. And the snakes don't care if you're a child, an adult, or another animal, which at least the snakes don't kill animals, they just kill people, including children. Which anytime a movie has the balls to kill some kids, you gotta applaud it. And for a while, you're just cheering the snakes on like, yeah, fuck up those people, you know, those evil bastards, you know, reclaim nature. until the film decides to take another turn and make the humans win. And that leads to exterminators coming into the building and either gassing the snakes or burning them alive. This movie has no chill. Also, I'm sorry I'm all over the place, but as I said, this is just insanity. There is a lot of random kind of slapstick comedy. There is a scene where the boss or the secretary, the rich guy, gets scared by a toy snake and he just jumps into the arm of another character, kind of like a 20s cartoon. And then there's another scene, and that scene is absurd. It's fast forwarded of a woman who's a bit on the heavier side, and she's eating, and the footage is intercut with footage of a pig. The pig doesn't get killed. So, the random slapstick comedy, the rampant animal cruelty, the weird kung fu fighting snakes, who's the brain of the operation, the copious amounts of scene where actors are just thrown snakes in their face, which I hope they got paid good for this, because if there's something I wouldn't want to do, even for a lot of money, is having snakes thrown at me. So yeah, this movie is bonkers AF, and I really liked it. So, my final thoughts on Calamity of Snakes. This movie is nuts, as I've said throughout the entire review, and you've probably figured out too. This movie is just 80-something minutes of pure degeneracy. Like, the filmmakers had no chill. Anything was game. They just didn't care, and what they brought to us is possibly the most insane film from Hong Kong. I'm not saying it is the most insane film from Hong Kong, because I've seen a lot of weird shit out of that country. It's no longer a country. I'm not gonna go into details about this. Whatever, free Hong Kong. But it's insane. So if any of this is sounding appealing, which I'll probably get judged in the comments, you know, how can you like a movie with animal cruelty? And people that are gonna tell me that are probably people who really enjoy Cannibal Holocaust. Look, we're all hypocrites here. Why do I enjoy Calamity of Snakes, but I shit on Marion Dora for existing? It's all me being an hypocrite. If they offer a cruelty-free version, I'll watch it. It's gonna be tough to cut the animal cruelty from a film that's main plot is an animal cruelty, but hey, that's how I watch Cannibal Holocaust, and that's how I would like to watch most of those Italian cannibal films. But sometimes you don't have the option, and if you don't want to see it, just don't watch the movie. But if you want to, it's available on Blu-ray, not sure about DVD, and of course through their streaming services, Unearthed streaming service, which is just Vimeo, so you can rent it or own it digitally. I recommend it. Plus the transfer looks pretty good. It still looks sweaty and sleazy, but that's just because it's a low-budget Hong Kong flick and they all kind of look like that. So thank you guys, and see you guys next time.